Could a stray Russian drone crashing into an apartment building in Romania finally be the moment that forces a direct confrontation between Russia and NATO? What happens when the fires of war leap beyond the intended target and land squarely within the territory of an alliance sworn to mutual defense? This isn't some hypothetical scenario, it's the reality that unfolded overnight, igniting fresh anxieties across Eastern Europe and beyond. Before we dive into the full implications of this dangerous incident, if you want to stay on top of everything happening in US politics and its global ripple effects, hit that subscribe button right now and leave a like. It truly helps this channel grow and allows us to bring you these critical updates. The news coming out of Bucharest is stark. Russian drones, part of a broader assault on Ukraine, apparently went astray. One such drone, instead of finding its intended target in Ukraine, slammed into a residential apartment building in eastern Romania. Romanian authorities confirmed the incident, reporting that 2 people were injured as a result of this errant strike. This isn't just a localized event, it's a development that significantly escalates concerns about the war's potential to spill over and directly involve NATO members. The fact that this occurred within the borders of a NATO country, a member of the very alliance formed to deter aggression against its members, is a critical detail. It underscores the precariousness of the current situation and the ever-present risk of miscalculation or unintended escalation. For months, we've watched the conflict in Ukraine unfold, with NATO members providing extensive support to Kyiv weapons, intelligence, financial aid, all while carefully avoiding direct military engagement with Russia. The alliance's strategy has been to bolster Ukraine's defense without provoking a direct war with a nuclear-armed power. However, this incident throws a wrench into that carefully calibrated approach. A Russian drone, even if it was an accident, landing on NATO soil is an unprecedented event. It raises immediate questions about Russia's drone capabilities, its targeting accuracy, and, more ominously, its willingness to risk such an incursion. Who is affected here? Beyond the 2 injured civilians in Romania, the entire NATO alliance is affected. This incident forces every member state to confront the reality that the conflict is no longer confined to Ukraine's borders. It brings the war closer to home, both literally and figuratively. For countries bordering Ukraine and Russia, like Romania, Poland, and the Baltic states, this event heightens their sense of vulnerability and likely intensifies calls for stronger security guarantees and a more robust NATO presence on their territories. What are the possible outcomes? Firstly, there's the immediate diplomatic fallout. Romania will undoubtedly demand answers from Russia and will likely coordinate closely with its NATO allies to formulate a response. This could involve strong condemnations, demands for reparations, and possibly even sanctions. Secondly, this incident could accelerate discussions within NATO about enhancing its air defense capabilities and surveillance along its eastern flank. There might be increased military exercises and a more visible NATO posture. Thirdly, and most concerningly, this could be interpreted by some within Russia as a sign of NATO's perceived weakness or its reluctance to retaliate forcefully to such provocations. This could embolden further aggressive actions. Conversely, it could also serve as a stark wake-up call for Russia, demonstrating the clear dangers of straying into NATO territory, with potentially devastating consequences. The line between a genuine accident and a deliberate, albeit deniable, provocation is thin and fraught with peril. We must consider the possibility that this was not an accident at all, but a calculated test of NATO's resolve, a probe to see how the alliance would react when its own territory is indirectly impacted by the conflict. The implications for U.S. foreign policy are also significant. The United States, as the leading member of NATO, will be at the forefront of any alliance response. This incident could lead to increased U.S. military deployments to Eastern Europe, further bolstering NATO's eastern flank. It also highlights the ongoing need for continued U.S. support for Ukraine, as a stronger Ukraine is seen as the most effective deterrent against further Russian aggression. The Biden administration will be under pressure to demonstrate American leadership and reassure allies of its commitment to collective security. This is a critical juncture. The war in Ukraine has always carried the risk of escalation, and this incident pushes us closer to that precipice. It's a reminder that the decisions made in Kiev and Moscow have direct and potentially catastrophic consequences for countries far beyond the immediate battlefield. The international community must tread carefully, demanding accountability while also working assiduously to de-escalate tensions and prevent further unintended or intentional spillover. The stability of Europe, and indeed the global security order, hangs in the balance. So what do you think about this? Was this Russian drone strike an unfortunate accident, or a deliberate test of NATO's defenses? Drop your opinion in the comments below. I read every single one. This is a developing story, and we'll continue to bring you the latest updates and analysis. Stay informed. Stay vigilant.